The Orioles have made massive moves, and it has big implications for the future of this team. What has Mike Elias done? And are fans upset or happy? Welcome back to an episode of Orioles Digest. I'm your host, Kam Brice. And yes, I know we have so much to talk about in this episode of Orioles Digest. So many trades, so many moves. What is Mike Elias doing? Fans are upset, and I'm here to tell you why. But before you do anything, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of this percentage, come join Orioles Digest. We're giving you daily updates about the Baltimore Orioles every single day that you don't want to miss. But without further ado, let's get into our first topic of the day. A big trade happened, but who was on the move? Yes, as you can guess it, the Baltimore Orioles traded Gregory Soto to the Mets for their top 20 prospect. Now, before we say any of this is a bad move. It was not a good move. Before you do anything, think of this. The Baltimore Orioles trade Gregory Soto, who had 1 year left to control, who was never going to be much within a 3.54 ERA bullpen reliever. He wasn't going to be a starter. The Orioles didn't have high leverage situation plans for him. He didn't fit the team, especially as we're not contending this year. They feel like they'll have better bullpen arm next year. So they went out, got a 20-year-old who's in AA. Now he was in single A, had a 1.9 8 ERA. Then you have another 26-year-old who is in the same boat as Heston Kjerstad and other guys, being blocked in the pit by the Mets pitching staff and their prospects, and just not having the opportunity. But he was dominant in AA this year, had a 1.98 ERA, was very good. So we're getting two young, talented players for Gregory Soto, and both of these players can be starting pitchers. They're both young. They still have the ability, and the Orioles it's starting to look like they're just going to go out there and get these starting pitchers' eyes. So this is a really good move. But we're going to take a deeper dive into this move, and I'm going to tell you something that you really need to know. So I wanted to go deeper into this move because I saw this the other day, as a reporter, I was looking at the move. I heard some chatter before, and I went to ask my friend who works media for the Mets and the Syracuse Mets, and he has access to all the MLB statistics to the Mets whole organization. So I went to ask him a thing, and I found this. I don't know if you guys can see this, but okay, the guy they traded for, Cameron Foster. I don't know if you guys see this. I'm gonna just show it to you right now. Okay, that's Cameron Foster. Cameron Foster, he's pretty good. That's the 26-year-old from Double A. He's going to be probably with Norfolk Tides by the end of the season. Could we see him in MLB? I'm pretty sure he'll be used as a relief pitching. Now, Wellington Arcia. That's the guy. Hold up. QC? Wellington Arcia. Yep, him. 2.3 ERA this season, but that was mostly because of what happened earlier in the year. He went to he went to Double A for a couple games and got hit around, but he was amazing in high and single A. So he's a very good pitcher. But look at this. This is what makes it even better. You guys know what percentile rankings, right? So if I can zoom in, there we go. Okay. So if you see these percentile rankings, he's 20 years old, just turned 20 years old. Okay. Look at that. Sorry. I mean, I'm trying to get these percentile rankings to y'all so y'all can know. But look at that. Look at the EV. Look at the K percentage. 33 percentage. Everything's up. So this is a stud. The Baltimore's again. They're getting a freaking stud. And then also the other news on the Baltimore Orioles called up Jeremiah Jackson, and they sent him right back down. So I feel like Mike Elias is playing mind games, but this is the Baltimore's second trade. Remember, weeks ago, a couple months ago, the Baltimore's traded Brian Baker. Everybody was confused of why the Orioles traded Brian Baker, and they didn't really get that much in return for him. But now you get a guy, Gregory Soto, out of that, who you acquired from the Phillies 2 years ago to hopefully push you for the World Series, and which you lost to the Texas Rangers once again. Not against the Texas Rangers. I'm sorry, against the Kansas City Royals. So the Baltimores are moving in I guess, a sell direction, but this doesn't define what they really need to address this season. But we're going to take a little more details into this trade. Okay. Now, Jake Rowe tweeted this. This was yesterday. So Michael Elias made official that he's going to be sellers. He's made it official that the Baltimore's are not probably looking to win this season. And you can tell by the type of lineups, the situations they're doing, and how they're playing more guys in different positions in high and single A and double A, and then triple A, they're sending random guys up. So they're trying to give everybody an opportunity. Now, I really like this. You know, you get a right-handed pitcher, you get another right-handed pitcher. You give up a left-hander, but you need righties. But you also need lefty arms. That's what the Orioles don't have, lefty arms. But I really think if you get some lefty arms, the Baltimore is going to be very special. Do we have other news, though? Hey, this is exciting. I wanted to talk about this too. I know John Linderman talked about this a couple of weeks ago with you guys. He talked about this young star. He's a flamethrower. Topped out at 102, 103. Oh, 19, 18 years old from the DR. He just got to Delmarva. So all I got to say, I'll be going to Delmarva in a couple of weeks watching him, so I'm so excited to see him play. But like John touched up on it, this is a good move. The Baltimores are really starting to develop talent in the minor leagues, and I think that's what they've been lacking. We've seen guys like Adley Rutschman, Gunnar Henderson, all these big stars, including Kyle Stowers, who we had down there, and we wasted the opportunity. They have all been position players, and the Orioles have no lefties down there. They have no righties. They have no guys with elite stuff that can top out. You need guys with high fastball, good splitter stuff. This guy is very versatile, has a fastball that rises, cuts on you, has a cutter that sinks, has everything that you want, has the curve that sits up there. He's a young pitcher, and the Baltimore's can possibly get him in the majors in the next 2 to 3 years. So that's, if you keep developing, he could top out at 104, 103. You know, you need a pitcher who is dominant on the mound with some swagger, and I think that's what the Baltimore's are missing. Any other news? No big news that we have right now other than Jeremiah Jackson was called up yesterday and then sent back down. It makes no sense. I have no, like, again, once I said, I have no direction with the Baltimore Orioles going on. But once again, the Gregory Soto trade was very good. I think you got a young pitcher who has very high ceiling if he can figure it out. Hope the Orioles pitching development doesn't ruin him. But and then you have another guy who's 25, 26, who's just looking for opportunities to keep building, and he'll be in the majors in about a year. So the Baltimore's did good. Michael Elias did good, but it still doesn't define how the season went out and how we had high expectations this offseason and so much money to spend, and it just didn't happen. So it's going to be interesting to see what Michael Elias does at the deadline. But you know me, Kam Brice, and John Linderman will be giving you daily updates with the Baltimore every single day on Orioles Digest. Don't forget to hit that like and comment. And make sure you subscribe to Orioles Digest because I sure do. From Orioles Digest, I'm your host, Kam Brice.